Dover, New Hampshire. That's right. And we're going to look all the way across the ocean at Israel, and we're going to take a look at this attack on Damascus by the Israelis. Well, you got a picture of it, Ted? It's quite an attack. Ba-boom, ba-bing.
قصف جديد يا شباب، قصف خطونا بسرعة 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 يا شباب. قصف جديد، قصف جديد يا شباب، قصف جديد ما بنهيئة الأركان خالص. قصف جديد يا شباب، قصف خطونا بسرعة 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 يا شباب. قصف جديد، قصف جديد يا شباب، قصف جديد ما بنهيئة الأركان خالص. قصف جديد يا شباب، قصف خطونا بسرعة 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 بسرعة. قصف ثاني دمروه. نعم قصف هيئة الأركان بغارتين. نعم قصف بغارتين استهدفت هيئة الأركان بشكل مزدوج من اليمين.
Well, you want to know why that happened? That happened because there was an attack, not just an attack, but there have been a series of attacks on the Druze minority in Syria. Now, I know this is complicated. It really is, but the Druze, very hard to describe, but they are protected by the Israelis. They have a beautiful, beautiful, absolutely all out of this world, beautiful temple in Haifa. And they have among the, and I believe that although it's a different version of it, I do believe they're Muslim. I do, but I'm not sure of that. I saw the service once, walked, when my knee was better, I walked all the way up it's in Haifa. It faces north, it faces the sea. And you walk up all these steps and you get to the heights of the Druze temple. And they've been under the protection, really, of the Israelis for a long, 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 long time. And somehow the government of Syria, you know, is a communist, not a communist, well, no, not communist, a terrorist group that's reformed. So I don't know if they have other bases of persuasion. So I can't tell you what happened between them and the Druze. But what's going on in Syria is, and I'm hoping this is a mistake, in the area of Syria, which would be the southeastern area of Syria, there's a large group of soldiers who would defend Syria, but not for Syria. And they also have a very, very sort of a bloodthirst for going after the Druze, who are non-conforming Arabs, and those Jewish people who are not religious or are following some other path. So they can get pretty tough when they want to. I think this issue goes back a little before them, and they should be taken out of it, and this should be solved Jewish and Alawite, Jewish and Druze, Jewish and Christian. Now, I'm somewhat really sympathetic to this because the Druze and the Alawites and the Christians are all in the same area of Syria. And it was the area of Syria, which is quite large, that gave Assad, who's now duly departed, I don't know if he's departed, but he's off in Russia somewhere. Assad had several genetic backgrounds that he trotted out at different times. But the new group that's taken over for him, which is somewhat faithful to him after going through 2 very bad years, I think doesn't know how to really deal with this group. I mean, they could be made allies, but you got to let them live their life differently than Muslims or Jews. There's even some of the Druze religion that has a little Judaism in it. It's a very complex and quite beautiful a religion. And as long as they're praying to God, and God isn't telling them, you know, go kill Christians, go kill Jews, we're doing okay. I don't think God has told them that. I think they interpret it that way, which is a bloody shame. It really is, and bloody for sure. Well, shall we take a short break? And well, we just got into this. No, we don't have to take a short break. I think what we should do is point out to you the column by my friend Alan Dershowitz that does a great job on arguing that the Jews are not engaged in genocide anyplace in the world, much less in Israel. Genocide is to remove an entire group of people. Hitler engaged in genocide, the final solution, wanted to eliminate the Jewish people. So they're saying that I guess the Jews want to eliminate the Palestinian people. First of all, they've limited their scope to the enrolled Hamas people who are over the top wanting to kill them. And by the way, thank you, Israel, for getting rid of some of them because they want to come here and kill me and my children. And over the next couple of hours and into tomorrow and the next day, we're going to find a lot of these people for you and find out what they're fighting for and how optimistic they are. So in a country like Syria, where you have this enclave, it's in the eastern southern border of Syria. It's where Assad got the Assad family got all their power, but it's made up by highly religious people, very religious Arabs and very religious non-Catholic, non-Christian Western, but very much accepted there as a religion, and they all need protection together. So there's a fear that when the new government starts to move in, as it's doing, it's going to go clean out those prisons. The first people they're going to kill are the people who are for Trump. And then the second people they're going to kill are the people that are not for their slavish interpretation of religion. But they're focused, and we got to be careful. And I think the Israelis have made a calculation. If you don't seriously damage them now, they're going to be a very big player in how the divisions take place and who controls it. So let's spend a little time on the Pitt conference. That was a very, very good conference that Trump put together with his own staff and with obviously Senator McLaughlin had a lot to do with it, huh, Ted? And I would say Shapiro did too, right? I don't know. Well, I mean, it was a good idea.
You would guess he was. I didn't see him though. Was he there? I'm sure he was
It
there.
reminds me of the old days. I mean, Clinton used to do things for me, and I was a Republican mayor. He thought every once in a while, if he could do a few things for me, it wouldn't be bad to have a Republican mayor speak up on his side when he did something right, and the Republicans were beating him down. Smart way to play politics. It's not all a zero-sum game. Well, the ceremony in Pittsburgh yesterday was both very impressive and very uplifting. To see the president strive to bring Pittsburgh back, which it's done a pretty good job on its own, I have to say also. But I mean, to really get it at superstar status is, to me, fabulous. And Pittsburgh is one of our greatest cities. And I'm counting how many pages we have on them. I'm wondering if we got a picture of the 2002 All-Star game.
Yeah.
That tied. That was the one that really destroyed All-Star games. And I was just an honorary coach, so I had nothing to say. Torrey said, shh. And I tried to follow. I didn't want to get kicked out.
And
But
did you?
I'm with you.
No, did you?
You got it?
No, were you able to, did you end up giving him any, you said you were an honorary coach. So you tried to honor that.
You want to? There's a picture of me in the dugout if you want to see me
Yeah, I gotta go
in
find
the
that.
dugout. I don't know if you do. I mean,
We
better
have
to
some-
get the picture of me pitching at Yankee Stadium when I struck the last guy out.
We'll have to find that. We do have some breaking news, Mayor.
Yeah, okay.
Maureen Comey, the daughter of ex-FBI Director James Comey, has been fired from her job at the U.S. Attorney's Office following her work on both the Diddy and Epstein cases.
Yeah, she worked on my case too.
And your case.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure of that. I'm sure of
Well,
that.
she is out.
Uh,
This is happening in the last.
I don't
within the
think you
last hour.
blame a kid for the father's screw up behavior, but everything I know, she shared his viewpoint. I don't know what that viewpoint is, but she shared it. Big time. So this conference in Pittsburgh was really quite substantial. It really does reestablish Pittsburgh as a center of both hard manufacturing and soft manufacturing. It's going to be a center for AI. It's going to be a center for the devices that make AI is a dream unless you have the right devices. It could be a center for both, where we can learn a great deal. And Pittsburgh is a very, very good city for that. The Carnegie Mellon Institute has always been a good place for research and thoroughgoing research. University itself is very good at that. So I think this could be a great thing for us. That'll work out really, really well. I hope.
Great. Yeah, we let's see if we've got some of the president who was there. That was just yesterday. So this is Trump at the AI.
We have something to play?
Yeah, this is Trump at the AI summit.
I mean, they raised $100 billion. Come on, we can play something.
Right.
I mean, this guy Shapiro must feel like he just fell into it. I mean, the last time I checked on Shapiro, he was suspected of fixing votes in the 2020 election.
Here's a funny one.
But I don't know. Maybe he's a good guy.
Here's President Trump yesterday.
Google put it.
Although my uncle was at MIT, one of the great professors, 51 years, whatever, longest serving professor of the history of MIT, 3 degrees in nuclear, chemical, and math. That's a smart man. Kaczynski was one of his students. Do you know who Kaczynski was? There's very little difference between a madman and a genius. Kaczynski said, what kind of a student was he, Uncle John, Dr. John Trump? He said, what kind of a student? And he said, seriously good. He said he'd go around correcting everybody, but it didn't work out too well for him. It didn't work out too well. But when I
It's amazing when he free associates, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, he's yet to do it and jeopardize us in any way, right? So it's not as if he free associates and he just shoots his mouth off and says anything he's thinking about, including things that are, like when we attacked Iran, he didn't shoot his mouth off about it. He just did it. In fact, he created a different narrative in a way. But he's terrific at that. And if a president can communicate, that makes him a great president. Because the American people then know how to pick and choose, and they can be guided and they can be instructed and they can start seeing the importance of it and they can start seeing the mistakes that are made. And that's what we want. We all make mistakes and we should be pushed on those. Ted, I don't know why this bothers me so much, but these attacks on J.D. Vance and his family, I just want to go get on my white horse with my helmet and my lance and do some battle for them.
For the
What gives them the right to harass J.D. Vance's kids?
right.
This comes from Clara Jeffrey. Now, who is Clara Jeffrey? She's the editor-in-chief of, and they say left-leaning, of communist Mother Jones magazine. Now, I don't know who the hell Mother Jones is. Do you?
Unfortunately, I do, but I would suspect that
assume
most
she's
people
some
don't.
kind of a washed-out drug user.
Mother Jones is a news outlet.
I know that.
Oh, sorry. What is the original Mother
who is
Jones?
Mother Jones? Is she like a big,
Good
a
question.
paranoid freaky or
That is a
cannabis retard or heroin useless head?
that's a very good question. Mother Jones, also known as Mary Harris Jones, was a prominent American labor and community organizer. She is best known for her work advocating for minors' rights and fighting against child
that's
labor
good.
during the late 19th and early 20th century.
Well, Mother
She
Jones
co-founded the IWW.
Well, Clara Jeffrey is now the editor-in-chief of Mother Jones. Now, here's a quote. People who feel bad for J.D. Vance's kids as a family gets booed at Disneyland. I get it. But better those kids know now what their father is all about. But what do you think their father was all about? The man served this country honorably, put his life at risk in this country. Did you do that, Clara? When the hell did you put your life at risk for this country? I'm tired of these people. I don't know. I don't agree with J.D. Vance on everything, but I sure as hell respect him. And I'm not going to go after his family any more than I'm going to go after Obama's family. I never made fun of his kids. What the hell would I do that for? The only kids I ever made fun of were the criminals that Biden had in the White House. How can you not? Hunter Biden was a menace to the United States of America. And he wasn't a kid. He was a degenerate drug addict who took money from our enemies and gave it to his old man and told us that, and the press covered it up. They still cover it up. But I don't know who this Clara Jeffrey is. I don't even know if it's a man or woman. I don't know its pronoun. So I don't know what it is. But imagine that. Well, this is we brought some of this to you last night. This is the insanity of the party of Satan. They're getting there. There's an evil, non-human quality to them that until we can get to that, we're just not going to be able to come back together as a country. You know, Ted, there's another problem with the situation in Texas. We are the only ones, I think, to point out the problem so far is they don't have alarms. The alarms didn't go off. The kids were left there too long. However, I think there's an overriding factor that you and I discovered, which is that if those, whatever they are, compounds or tents or whatever, have been built on high ground, those kids would be alive like the older kids are alive.
Right. And I just think by instinct, if you were in charge of a camp like that, you would, if you were in charge of a camp like that, Mayor, if we were, I got to get more light on there.
Yeah. We'll get a new light soon, Friday.
So you'll see more of me, for better or for worse. But you're right. Instinctually, we would have put the younger kids further from the water, which you would consider more.
This is like Biden evacuating Afghanistan. Take out the soldiers before the civilians, moron, and get all the civilians killed. Put the young kids right next to the river that floods all the time, and put the older kids all the way up high where they're safe. Now, don't put any of the kids there. Why not look for a little more room up top, which I think exists?
Yeah,
I don't know. I wish somebody had come on and tell me it doesn't. I can see it on the topography map.
It was a flood zone. Let's see if we can get
these things aren't that big. You could put one up there.
They were in an active flood zone, so you're right. None of them should be sleeping there. But if you're going to have cabins there and kids there, it should be the older ones. It's like maybe it's old fashioned, right? But when you're walking down the street with a woman, the man is supposed to
be on the
closer
outside.
Yes, closer to traffic. So we get hit. They get saved.
They get hit with the shit. That's what it was for.
Oh, really?
Well, they used to throw it over the top.
Whoa, what? Oh, I thought it was so if a car veered off, it would hit the guy.
Now,
it would hit the guy.
We go back 400 or 500 years. That's the way people disposed of their waste.
Over the building, or right out the window?
Yeah, I mean that's time of the plague. That's the way homeless people do it, right?
Interesting fact.
That's like the way homeless people do. Like that's circa San Francisco now.
I learned something new.
Right? They go on the street all the time. Where do you think the homeless people go to the bathroom? On your street. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So here's another wrinkle in this thing that has to be looked at. According to this latest report, Camp Mystic's co-owner only started evacuating campers more than 45 minutes after getting an emergency alert about life-threatening flash floods. Dick Eastland, who has passed on, so we have no desire to cause any trouble for him other than try to get the right answer to this, who died trying to save young girls at his Hunt, Texas camp on the Guadalupe River, got the initial NWS blast on his phone at about 1:14 a.m., but he only began relocating campers at 2 a.m. Now, they had no information indicating the magnitude of it. So I assume what happened, now you can see it. See Camp Mystic down at the bottom there? So the Guadalupe River divides at Hunt, and it remains up north, and it goes almost due west, whereas the part that's going to cause the trouble is a fork that goes down south, heads south, to some extent west. And I don't know if the separation created the tremendous surge. I don't know if there's something in the water there that created the tremendous surge. But in any event, the surge happened right before Camp Mystic. So I don't know why the kids weren't evacuated. I don't know why the kids weren't taken to high ground and doubled up in bunks. I don't get it. I mean, it's not as if this was your first hurricane, guys. There's a storm, flood. This is a flood-prone area. Well, the Pitt Conference, great success, absolutely great success. All this money into Pittsburgh, a lot of it coming into Pittsburgh to make Pittsburgh the AI and energy sector, to make sure we stay way up ahead and we get all this green. Get all this green stuff out of our head, okay?
Mhm.
The U.S. has made another trade deal, this time with Indonesia. They're coming a little at a time. We're looking at a tariff now of about well, it's 290 million people, so it's not, and they export primary export textiles. They go back and forth, and they make them really great. Trump said about this, they are giving us access into Indonesia, which we've never had before. That's probably the biggest part of the deal. These countries are known for very high quality copper, which we can always use, but also I think we're talking about, I'm not sure absolutely for sure, but I think we're also talking about some of the rare earths and also primary textile exports, which we need. We're a country that makes an awful lot of money on fashion, right? Well, China is in a very, very strange position. It's going to be very hard to describe this to you. Is China's economy doing well or isn't it? Yes? No. Its GDP, which had been expanding at a ridiculous 10 or 11%, if you believe it, has been tanking. It's come back this month. It's finished only 0.1% below projection, which is good. That's good. And they have they've gotten themselves back up to a fairly reasonable position. China has and Russia has, both. Now, I think that China is going to have to worry about our tariffs really throwing this off, and therefore is going to have to make deals. This is the only way to deal with China when they're against the wall. And they got to do it for their own good. Property investment plunged 11.2% in the first half of this year in China. Construction starts went down 20%. These are all working numbers. These are what put people to work. So China is not, it's certainly not ahead of us, and its inexorable climb to reach us by 2048 has now been halted. So maybe we should get ready to run the world again. We certainly have a president who's ready to do that, right? Another chart making the same point. Now, you know that China does all these drills. They just finished a drill going all around Taiwan and trying to scare them and going, right? So for the first time ever, we're taking a set of training exercises that we do at this time of year, and we have made it massive, massive. So China gets a little peek at what might happen if they mess around with Taiwan. This is called the Talisman Saber, the name of the event. It's in the 11th year, and it's one of our largest presentation of our soldiers in our Navy. 40,000 personnel from 19 nations are participating. This is an exercise in or around near China with the United States, and I'll make sure I get it right now, and 19 other nations participating. And we don't have an alliance against China. You know why this is being done? This is being done to show you, China, you go after Taiwan. What the hell are these people practicing with us for? They're going to want a little action. And this is going to be, you're going to get hit from where you don't expect it. Now, Beijing often sends, when they do this, this drill, which they do every year, it's called Talisman Saber. But every year it's been basically United States, Korea, one of them. This is massive numbers of participants. They'll get to learn a little bit of the history of China, some of the political divisions. But they'll go through all the things that are necessary to keep people alive and win a war. And having 18 nations out there parading around China, I don't think they're going to go after anything this month. If they do, I think it's going to be very serious consequences. So Australia is one of the motive forces behind this military drill. So it's all in coordination with the United States and vice versa. All the other countries are very much into it, including India, the two big money countries. So this is something we put together as part of NATO, but we keep it under our control. Who has to listen to some communist guy like the one they have now, who's the Secretary General? Half the stuff he said, and we will find the freedom of the and then we will suck China's ass. Come on. Come on. We're paying for it. We're entitled to know what's going on. Well, stop paying for it. Well, here's a very, very telling case of why we should not allow illegal aliens to come in. And at first, I think you're going to disagree with me when I tell you this. Andrina Bracco is 34 years old. She is an illegal. She is here in the United States illegally. It doesn't matter if she worked. It doesn't matter that she has 2 kids and is divorced. It doesn't matter if she's divorced or not divorced. She came across the border illegally. If illegally means anything, it means we should be able to throw her out at the earliest possible convenience. So, on December 20th of 2023, she was driving her automobile with 2 of her kids in the car, who probably are a meal ticket, right? Or the ticket to staying in the United States. In the middle of it, she crossed onto the opposing lane in Hazelwood, a suburb of St. Louis, at a mere 75 miles per hour, over 75 miles per hour. She smashed into a Jeep carrying a young man named Travis Wolf, who spent several months on life support until he died. She's been charged with first-degree involuntary manslaughter and 2 counts of second-degree assault. She pleaded guilty to that. She can be sentenced on September 12th. The prosecutors are recommending 27 years. She was in this country illegally. We don't know when she came in the last time, which means she's one of the not just gotaways, but the gotaways unseen with no trace of them. So that's a pretty sad situation. And that's what's going on all over the country with all of these illegals. Let me say it one more time. When you open up the border the way Biden did, you invite in disproportionately a large number of illegals. But it's much easier to get your high-risk people in when you've got spaces where nobody's looking, and we did. And when we say there are X number that are illegal because we have the cards and everything else, and then there are 60 or 70,000 who came in before and went back to some nursing home or something like that. That is true. That does happen. They're better off in that nursing home than they are in the hands of the Secret Service for now, at least. But ultimately, ultimately, we should spread this out a little bit more. So it looks like we have a ceasefire in Syria and Israel. It looks like it. Now, I have learned about the Middle East that things that look some way don't end up being that way. So is that true? That you can get fooled? What would you say, Ted? People are pretty much figuring that the bad weather is over now. You think they should still be on alert?
Oh, yes, of course, yes.
Yeah, I think they should be. I don't know what. I'm not a seer, so I don't know what's going on, but so Israel and Syria, as we said, had this broke out like poof, all of a sudden. Israel found out that Syria was torturing and taking in the Druze. And I'm going to say probably the Alawites and the Christians too, because they're all in the same area. They asked Damascus to stop. Damascus didn't stop, and they stopped Damascus. They are now under the tutelage and wing of Marco Rubio, who's got a ceasefire already worked out. And hopefully this is going to end up as a short contretemps, which unfortunately some people did, right? Which is a shame. It didn't have to happen. And there's sort of a sidelight. Now, Qatar, attacked Israel's attack on Syria, and everybody attacked it, except the Syrians may be killing innocent people. You jackasses. That's a just out of terrorism regime, like 2 years. I bet they have interesting ways of shutting you up. Of course, Turkey is condemning it and all the usual suspects. Meanwhile, they're not doing a damn thing about trying to create a peaceful Gaza, are they? Well, I think those strikes are under control. I think Israel got its point across. Pretty sure it did. So I don't think that's going any further. And I do think they're going to remain pretty much peaceful. Because I do think Israel wants to have an Abraham Accord with Syria. You're not getting there by bombing them, right? But then there are things more important than an Abraham Accord. I agree with that also. But I mean, everybody's out there condemning Israel, and nobody takes a look at what Syria did. Huh? Yeah, they're just stupid. It's just stupid. Like Israel just bombed them. Hey, we're going to bomb Syria today, guys. Let's go bomb Syria.
Crazy.
The stick were really stupid.
Right.
UN chief condemns Israeli strikes. UN chief does not condemn Syria wiping out Christians. They're going to have a UN Security Council meeting. don't they move those out of New York so we can put a baseball field there? Jesus.
Big traffic problems.
Well, it's about time the White House, I guess, maybe the Attorney General, keep it out of the White House, should put down her foot and say, I want those 2 assassinations investigated as if you were Charlie Chan. I want to know I want to know what happened. You're detectives. Try to put it back together again. There are a lot of people to interview. There are a lot of actions that were taken. So I would very much like to see that done as an educational program for us. So we're going to be going into, we're going to be getting perilously close to the weekend. And I have just a feeling in my bones that one of these things are going to get resolved this weekend. I don't think Putin, there was criticism of the president giving Putin 50 days. What do you think of that, Ted? You think that was okay? No. I mean, one of the Ukrainian women said, well, during that period of time, we all die.
No, it's yeah. I guess it's it comes down to timing, but the fact remains that none of this would have happened if in 2020,
right?
If the election wasn't stolen. So it's true from the Russia's perspective. It's true that Putin at least had respect for President Trump and what he thought the president was capable.
But is Putin going to use? Is Putin going to use his 50 days to try to improve his position? Yes. Is the fact that we're giving them extra weapons, new weapons, going to help them improve their position? I hope so. Because when they've had the weapons, the Ukrainians have not turned out to be pushovers.
Yeah, so they're trained and they know how to use the stuff we're giving them.
Well, I think they either know how to use it or the NATO people do.
That's right.
They may not be Americans, but they have support of the NATO people.
Right, and they're trained in doing that. Yeah, the 50 days. It's just going to be there's some truth to it. There's going to be a lot more killing happening, a lot more deaths on all sides.
Well, I wish that
yeah.
Well, I can't criticize this because I don't know how many days it really takes. This is in order to get the sanctions in place, not to defend yourself. The president said they'll have the weapons in 2 or 3 days if they don't have them already. And it's a question of giving the permission to use it. But personally, I believe the sanctions are more valuable than the weapons. I think that's what'll crack them.
The sanctions hit hard, right? And he'll get more. There'll be a lot of pressure from the people around Putin.
So we'll have to see exactly how it plays out. But you get a new surprise every day. I mean, look at that! Isn't that a great shot? Here I am. There's Ted. We should get a football, Ted.
No, we actually shouldn't. We can throw the football
or softball or something.
That's what Sean Hannity.
One of the lights out if we did.
We can take Sean Hannity's little shtick.
Oh, Hannity, yeah.
He throws the football.
Yeah, let's not use a football.
No, we can do it. Do we have to use a soccer ball considering your son's big role?
Yeah. Maybe he'll get us a FIFA. Maybe he'll get us an official FIFA ball.
And then we'll really have soccer time.
Yeah, we'll have real soccer time.
We foreshadowed.
We tell you how much time you have left either.
We saw that coming.
Then we can decide at the end. Goal.
Only we will know.
Not scored. But I thought it was.
We got to get on board.
This is really tough. These guys commit suicide over this.
Yeah, we gotta get on
Remember
board
the goalie
though.
that got killed? I think it's Colombian goalie that
Yeah,
got killed.
they take it very serious. I thought we take football serious here. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Can you imagine the kicker for the Buffalo Bills if he
My goodness.
Ooh. Ooh. Very,
Four
very
in a
tough.
row.
Pardon me?
4 in a row, the Bills. You can laugh at that being a Giants fan.
So
Shifty Schiff.
we can go back to Shifty Schiff. I just want to make sure I got everything in for today.
We want people heading over to Lindell TV, huh? At 9.
Let's see if we got everything in for today.
Maybe we'll take a quick break.
Yeah, this
Let's
way
get a
I
break
can
in.
check things out.
Mayor will check things out.
Yeah. We got to do a little bit on aliens here. I got to tell you what these miserable aliens are doing because nobody else will tell you about that. And we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. And we'll also spend a little time on Mr. Mandami goes to Washington, not to be confused with Mr. Smith goes to Washington. U.S. Army Major Scott Smiley paid a high price serving our nation. Scott was leading his platoon in Iraq when a blast sent shrapnel through his eyes, leaving him blind and temporarily paralyzed. Scott would become the first blind active duty military officer before medically retiring years later. Thanks to friends like you, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave Scott and his family a mortgage-free, specially adapted smart home. Show your support for America's heroes now. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org.
Are you ready for some action?
I'm ready for action.
Get the Elite TV plan only through the portal, 218 channels, and it's only $69.95 a month,
Wow.
including your free portal.
That's cheaper than everyone else.
Your favorite sports, movies, news,
Wow.
even daytime dramas. We're talking about ESPN, OAN, Newsmax,
Wow.
channels you can't get anymore in certain areas.
Compared to the competition, this is a way better deal.
Endless selection. Not to mention all the free music channels. There's over 700 premium and classic movies all ready to go.
Wow.
Plus, they got catch-up TV that allows you to go back and watch what you've missed or want to watch again. Cut your cable in half and get twice as much for free.
Way more channels for half the cost.
After the first year, the subscription then drops to $57.95 monthly,
Wow.
where you change or upgrade anytime. Go to QUXNow.com and get yours today. Use promo code RUDY. Act fast. These deals are selling out.
Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep grain, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because they like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans, no Robusto, all Arabica. They're going to go into the roaster and it'll get roasted for about 20 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, look at these. My goodness. You're going to want to specially order these. This is what goes into Rudy's coffee.
1.
Well, there you saw that creep Adam Schiff, huh? Well, Mandami made his trip to Washington today, and he was greeted by his own cheerleader, former retired bartender, AOC. And AOC was enormously excited by House Democrats praise Mandami after Ocasio-Cortez event. Here's the only problem. They didn't put it on television. They didn't hold a press conference. They snuck him in and they snuck him out. Well, there's something wrong with this guy. You can't have a press conference. You're not fooling anybody, bartender. You bring a big shot down there. You guys want to be. I don't see the big event for him. I see you snuck him in. You even closed the window so they couldn't take pictures. What are you hiding? I guess if you got a communist in your midst, you got to hide him, right? Well, I mean, you guys like AOC and Jayapal and the one who was married to her brother and that whole group, I don't see that that's going to get you anywhere with that group. But I don't know how is this jerk doing with some of the older members?
Well, he got a hero's welcome.
Primella Jayapal.
Yeah, we got her.
Boy, she's quite a number, huh?
Yeah, we got her. We got Jayapal. This is Jayapal on meeting Mom Donnie today.
She called the meeting fantastic, but nobody was allowed in.
Here it is.
Look, he's bringing anybody who can see the reality of the success of his candidacy and his campaign together. Anybody that's staying out at this point instead of endorsing this incredible dynamic leader is missing an opportunity.
Do you think he won over any out there of the members who weren't supporting him or on the fence?
Sorry, what was
that? Do you think he won over any members?
Oh, I think it's hard not to be won over because it's the combination of his authenticity, his smarts, and his commitment to lifting up working people and making life.
Well,
his picture of him with Bernie.
There he is. 2 millionaires. 2 millionaires. Deciding how your money can't be spent by you. Socialist pigs. So I should let you know, ICE attorneys are instructed to oppose bail for illegals. Now, all the do-gooder groups that want to have as many illegals here as possible, want to wipe out citizenship completely, say this is unconstitutional. There's nothing unconstitutional about it when the history is 4 out of 5 disappear and never come back. Bail is for the purpose of assuring your appearance. And if you're bailing somebody and you're not assuring their appearance, you're not following the law, which is taking judicial notice of the fact that you can't if you let them out. So they should be held without bail until we throw them the hell out of the country. They have no right to be here. They have become progressively more criminal. They've become progressively more perverted. How many times are the crimes with little children? And what about the tremendous amount of sex trafficking they're doing and child laboring that they're doing? We have no reason to push them under the rug, believe me. Now, we do have a problem with dreamers. The problem, dreamers, remember, dreamers are, and they can be in all categories, right? But dreamers are largely kids that were born here to parents that are illegal. Now, the old thinking is you become a citizen if you're born here. And boom, you become a citizen. Now, that isn't true. You do not become a citizen just because you cross a border. We have a right to turn down anybody we want. We have a right to have the kind of country we want. We don't want people who hate us. Asking somebody, do you love America, is a relevant question on an immigration form. I want people here. If I have a choice, right? I don't have to take everybody in the world. If If I have a choice, I want to take the people who are in love with this country. I know. You can't always have people that are in love, but why not? We don't have to let everybody in who wants to come in. There's no reason for that. We can say, look, there are very few spaces here left. We want to give them to the people that are really value added. Value added is not just money. Value added is a deeper commitment to what America is about. Value added is to inspire people to defend this country, to understand how important it is, particularly if they bring their experiences from another country where things were much worse than they are here. So I would be very, very careful about the groups that get you entangled here, because they quickly move into making no distinction between legal, just purely illegal entry, and then illegal, and the person does it because you can't get away with it there. Human trafficking, having sex with minors, raping people, stealing from people, chopping their heads off like Transderagua does. So we've got to be alert. I still don't know how much of a handle we have on who's here and who isn't, and who we're looking for and who we're not looking for. But we don't want to have people thrown off on us that we're not ready for and we don't know. So we're going to give more thought to this dreamer situation, because it's very, very difficult. It's very difficult because very often the child is innocent, not always. So we can get you all steamed up by talking about the one that isn't innocent. They can get you all steamed up by talking the one that's innocent. We got to find a way to rationally distinguish between the two in a sensible way that holds the population down to something manageable and doesn't allow for abuse. Very important, because a system that's accountable will last a lot longer than what we're doing right now. So did you get to see any of the All-Star game last night, Ted?
I did not. Just a little clip we played here live.
Oh, good.
Did you read about it, follow it?
Yeah, I just understand that a Philadelphia Philly hit a home run, and that's how they got home. That's how they won. But they don't get anything for winning. They used to get home field advantage.
No, they just get
bragging rights. I mean, you don't get anything. I don't even think, maybe you get a bigger trophy or something.
Bragging rights.
Yeah. You know, the American League won like so many years in a row, and then the National League had won some. This may be starting a trend.
Going back, the other way.
But I mean, I'm not a big fan of the home run derby. So to resolve the game with a home run derby is like, you resolve the game the way you resolve the game, which is you get a run.
Right.
Why do people want to try to improve on baseball? I mean, it's a couple of little tweaks here and there, but.
Do you like the pitch clock?
What?
Do you like the pitch clock?
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I think a game should move along. That's okay. That's not.
Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame?
What?
Pete Rose, Hall of Fame?
Of course. Been in favor of that for so long, I don't even have to think about it too long.
He's now eligible.
What?
He is now eligible. He's not in, but he's now eligible.
If they don't put him in, nobody should go to the Hall of Fame. Woke bastards. Taking this All-Star game away from Atlanta, screwing the city of Atlanta of the revenue. So stupid. So stupid.
Right.
El stupido.
They're hurting themselves.
Stupido.
They hurt themselves.
What?
Yeah, they hurt themselves.
Yeah,
Their
yeah.
own businesses.
Well, we're starting to get there, I think, slowly but surely. We're going to have an answer to Ukraine. We're going to have an answer, I think, faster. I think it'll be faster in the Middle East. We'll see. But I really do think that Trump will have them put away by the midterm break, which will be very good for us. Because if we lose the House, you're going to be looking at one stupid, crazy impeachment again. I mean, they're trying to impeach even on the numbers.
Right.
What are they impeaching over? General appearance?
Yeah. Sri Thanadar from Michigan. Yeah, what was he doing? Something about the trade deals that were. It was crazy, but that didn't go too far.
Pardon me?
That one didn't go too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. They tried though. You're right.
Well, I think we got on top of Syria right away. Hopefully that's contained, but also the Syrian government's got to, I don't know if this is coming out of the Syrian government or the Syrian government doesn't have control of it, but they've been beating the hell out of that area for quite some time, and we're losing Christians there too. So this is not a half bad thing that Israel did. Wake up, come on. Damn former dictators. Start trying to save people's lives. I don't know if they can do that. We'll see. We'll find out. I mean, the question is, we're going to do an Abraham Accord with them. Well, this will tell us whether we will or we won't. We'll get a real test right on the line. Well, it is now 9:03 I have. Is that correct? So Dr. Maria is about getting started. And she has some very interesting topics tonight. So I am going to suggest, and then we'll give you more soccer time tomorrow night in place of that. I am going to suggest that you go over to Lindell TV, and if they miss it there, where else can they get it at? On Rumble?
LindellTV.com. I believe Lindell's on Rumble, yes.
No, just in case, because sometimes it gets screwed up on that. We just want to make sure you get to hear her because she's very, very good. So we'll be back tomorrow night. In between, we're going to pray for all those in harm's way. Maybe some of these situations are beginning to move toward a solution, but very slowly. It looks like Russia and Ukraine's going to be very slowly. It looks like the situation in Israel, I really think it's unresolved until you resolve the Ayatollah, which means bye-bye Ayatollah. But let's see, that may not be true, but I think it is. So you tune in with us tomorrow night and we'll see where the heck we are on all of that plus more, so that you get the background on these things. So you're not in the dark and you don't get this left-wing thing like, tonight we brought out that all those criticisms of Israel are made up by Hamas because Hamas controls the UN. That's what kind of weird. We pay for the UN, but we don't control it. The left wing does. Maybe we have left wingers on there, our own.
Right.
We sure have our own share of whack jobs, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Well, get over to Lindell TV. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 and 8. We'll keep you up to date on all the junk they don't tell you about. And we're going to say a very, very heartfelt, God bless America.
It's our purpose to bring to bear the principle of common sense and rational discussion
to the issues of our day. America was created at a time of great turmoil, tremendous disagreements, anger, hatred. There was a book written in 1776 that guided much of the discipline of thinking that brought to us the discovery of our freedoms, of our God-given freedoms. It was Thomas Paine's Common Sense, written in 1776, one of the first American bestsellers, in which Thomas Paine explained, by rational principles, the reason why these small colonies felt the necessity to separate from the Kingdom of Great Britain and the King of England. He explained their inherent desire for liberty, for freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the ability to select the people who govern them. And he explained it in ways that were understandable to all the people, not just the elite. Because the desire for freedom is universal. The desire for freedom adheres in the human mind, and it is part of the human soul. This is exactly the time we should consult our history. Look at what we've done in the past and see if we can't use it to help us now. We understand that our founders created the greatest country in the history of the world, the greatest democracy, the freest country, a country that has taken more people out of poverty than any country ever. All of us are so fortunate to be Americans. But a great deal of the reason for America's constant ability to self-improve is because we're able to reason, we're able to talk, we're able to analyze. We are able to apply our God-given common sense. So let's do it.